Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Ill Will, and this is the Eagles Raw Report. Another tough loss on Sunday to the Tennessee Titans in embarrassing fashion. Eagles up 14 points, 17-3 to be exact, in the third quarter, and we allowed them to pound their way back into the game and have a record-setting fourth quarter, which was converting on 4th and 15, which was the longest fourth down converted in NFL history in overtime. Now, I got to touch on each level of football with the Philadelphia Eagles because it is not peaches and cream anywhere on the field. So I'm going to start off by the defensive line. The defensive line is not playing championship football. They're not playing like the championship D-line that we had last year. Even though there's different personnel, it's not the same. It's not the same personnel. It's not the same hunger. It's not the same fight. They're not playing like they want to repeat at all. The linebacker, I would say, is a little better. But at the same time, we have missed assignments, missed plays, penalties, little stuff to hurt us along the way. But they're mediocre. They're mediocre right now. Right now, we're playing like a mediocre team. And that's why we have the record that we have. That's why we're 2-2. And I've been hearing a lot of talk. And I'm guilty as well. I'm one of the first people that jump on Jalen Mills and say, he is garbage. He need to get benched. But who are we going to replace him with? Rasul Douglas? Who we really going to? Sidney Jones? And you got to understand, when you make something like that happen, you are about to make a big change all over the defense. Because if you put Sidney Jones on the outside at his position right now and put Jalen Mills in the slot, we just opened up a can of worms right there, because the route tree is bigger at the slot position. So, and we see that Jalen Mills get beat on the cuts on the double moves a lot. Now we just open up the book for the offense, for the opposing offense, because the route tree is so much bigger. And they could force Jalen Mills to get back on the outside. All they got to do was a wheel route with the wide receiver, have him just cut out to the right and then shoot up the sideline, and then have their receiver that's covering Sidney Jones to cut inside with a dig or a slant. Now unless the defense is taught to switch, Jalen Mills is going to end up back on the outside. And now we have him running down the sideline and chasing the receiver, running for his life like we see him do every Sunday. And that's not going to change from Jalen Mills, because Jalen Mills is not fast. We seen it in 2016 when we were at our lowest point trying to find our identity. We seen it in 2017 when we found our identity. But it wasn't because we had a ball-hawking secondary. It was because we had a nasty D-line that got to the quarterback almost often. Almost every play, they were back there. They're not playing the same, so now you're really seeing what you were missing in 2017. So you got to get off his back, because the play has never changed from that man. It's not like you've seen something crazy last year and then this year he fell off the mat. Because if you go back to it, like what we want to see is how Jalen Ramsey played and how Richard Sherman played in his prime. That's what we want to see. We want to see him, bump and cover someone, run with him, and then possibly take the ball out the air or snag the ball from the receiver and intercept it and go the other way. But you have never seen that, ever. Under no circumstances have you seen Jalen Mills drop back and cover, be on the receiver, neck and neck with the ball, and then take it out the air. You've never seen that. All three of his receptions last year, and I'm going to name them off to you, were all balls that just came his way. First game, Washington Redskins, Kirk Cousins overthrew the ball, went straight to Jalen Mills. I applaud him for catching the ball. Carolina Panthers, the ball sails up in the air because Cam Newton can't throw, and the ball lands in Jalen Mills' hands. Applaud him for catching the ball. And in the San Francisco 49ers, he breaks on the ball. No, he didn't even break, if I'm not mistaken. The ball just came to him. So he got lucky on all of his 3 interceptions. It was never no ball hawking secondary play by Jalen Mills that allowed him to get an interception. He got lucky all the times. You know, we were happy that he got the interception, but go back and watch the tape. It's nothing to be impressed by. So Jalen Mills is giving you the same play that he always been. So I don't know why everybody's on his back now. The only reason why you're on his back now is because the L's on the L's in the L column is piling up now. And if you go to the other side of the field, Ronald Darby isn't playing that good either. Ronald Darby is showing that he doesn't have the speed. Ronald Darby is showing that he doesn't have the body. And Ronald Darby is also showing that he's over pursuing and getting beat on double moves. So he's doing the same thing. So we got the same play from both sides. Now, I'm not coming down on these guys saying these guys are 100% complete garbage, because when the field shortens up, these guys play real ball because they don't have too much ground to cover. That's a problem in the long run because, you know, we got Odell Beckham and all these top tier receivers that we have to play down the line that are quick and fast and, you know, produce those quick plays and the quick feet and the double moves that would destroy our cornerbacks. But then we have to get back to the basics, which is the defensive line. That's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to our defensive line causing as much pressure almost every single play that we did last year. That's what's going to have to happen. That's the only way we're going to get back to Eagles football. And we're not that bad on defense. I mean, we are, but at the same time, we're not, because we're not getting blown out. We're not giving up a huge amount of points. You know, the biggest amount of points that we gave up was against Tampa Bay, but in from third to fourth quarter, 14 points to end the game. Not 14, 20 points total, because they scored a game-winning touchdown. That's the most points we gave up in that short quarter period of time, which was a quarter and a half, or 2 quarters if you want to count the overtime. But anyway, the defense is almost top 10. And we are the top 10 in every category except the pass defense. So we lock down on that. We hone in on that. Jim Schwartz is going to have to provide a game plan that's going to allow Jalen Mills to succeed. He can't leave him out there on the island every single play. We can't do that. We're going to have to cover up top, cover underneath. We're going to have to bait the defense in. And I seen them do that against Julio Jones, but we're going to have to do that more. We're going to have to provide the assistance for Jalen Mills to succeed, because we can't leave him out there on the island. It's proven every Sunday that he's not fast. So it's up to the defense, because we're not going to bench him. So if we're not going to bench him, which is going to be one of the hardest things to do right now, you know, making that big change, because it's too many moving pieces with Rodney McLeod gone and they're trying out a new safety right now. It's not like we got a safety in place for Rodney McLeod. We're trying out a safety. So Corey Grime wasn't it. So they had to make the change in the game with Anthony Maddox. We had to make the change in the game. So you don't want to keep moving all these pieces, because then, you know, we have to wait and give it time for these players to learn that position and specialize in that position and know everything it is to know about that position and play through it. Because the only time you can get perfect at that position is live gameplay. So it's up to Jim Schwartz and the coaching staff, the secondary coach, the D-line coach, the linebacker coach, everybody to come together to form the perfect game plan to help this defense to get back to basics, get back to that Super Bowl winning caliber defense. And let me remind you once again, we did not have a ball hawking secondary. It was the defensive line. So that's where it has to start from. It's going to have to start from the inside out. That's what Jim Schwartz preached. That's what Doug Peterson preached, from the inside out. That's where it starts. And that leads me to the offensive line now. They are playing they're not playing like a top 10 offensive line. And what hurts me the most is our franchise quarterback is coming back off of a LCL and an ACL tear, and they allowing this guy to get hit 17 times in one game. In one game. Carson Wentz dropped back there. He can't even breathe. He can't even blink his eye one time without a man being in his face, without running for his life. And I can't fault him for holding on to the ball. Receivers are not getting open sometimes. So, those things happen. So we can't say, oh yeah, he's holding on to the ball. That's play calling. So whatever plays that Doug Peterson is calling, the defenses are on it. So he's going to have to change it. So we can't blame Carson Wentz. And at the same time, Carson Wentz is going to have to check the ball down to his check down man right on time. If he's going through his progressions and he reads his first and second man, I can almost guarantee you that third man is most likely probably not open on that particular play. So he's going to have to check it down faster than he has been, because when he has been checking it down to his running back, it has been it's a 1 yard, 2 yard loss on average. And we can't keep having that happen, because then that puts us in second and long. And if we don't convert on second and long, now it's third and long. And now, the field, that down and distance is getting further and further away. And we have to develop a play to get right there, close to it, or beyond that mark. At all the times, we're not going to get that. That's why our third down percentage is so low, because we're facing more third and longs than we have to. And that all comes from coaching. So we got to go upstairs and bring it back down. It's not necessarily all the time on the players, but at the same time, the players have to go out there and execute. And the offensive line has not been doing that to help Carson Wentz go through his progressions and make the right read at the right time. He's rolling out the pocket every time. And every team is going to do that. Every team is going to throw all the pressure they can at Carson Wentz. Because right now, what it's looking like, if you rattle Carson Wentz a little bit, you got him on edge right now. You got him on the edge of his seat. He don't know what to do next. That's what it's kind of looking like. Last year, they would try that. 3rd and 19, he's converting. We can't keep resorting back to last year. We're not the Dallas Cowboys. We're not continuously talking about the past. We want to write the future right now. And another thing they have to write is the running backs. The running back blocking. We have yet to see good running back blocking. We've been waiting for 2 years. Because in 2017, we ain't have it. 2016, we ain't have it. And now we don't have it. Even with Blunt, he was bad at his assignments, picking up the blocks too. And I seen Smallwood on 2 plays in particular when Carson Wentz dropped back. And this guy looked like he was on an island. Like he was lost. He didn't know where he should block or where should he think about where the pressure was coming from. And I'm pretty sure they had to call him back in and say, hey, the pressure's coming from this side or that side. And that comes from practicing. And, you can't blame him because he's not the number one back. So he doesn't know where all the assignments are. So, again, it comes from coaching. It comes from the practice field. Those things, those scenarios are going to have to be tossed at him over and over and over again so it could be in his memory, because, some people don't pick up on stuff, on game day. They have to go through it through practice. So they have to make up these scenarios and put him in that position to succeed on Sunday. And, the tight end play is the only thing Carson Wentz got going for him right now. Cut of wide receivers is dropping the ball. And right now, we're looking like the 2016 Eagles and not the 2017 Eagles. And we got to change that quick, fast, and in a hurry, because time's not going to stop. The season keep going. Week 5 is upon us. Minnesota Vikings are coming to town, and they're not going to lay down. They coming to fight because they lost 2 in a row. And you could be damn sure they coming to ball because they need a win. They are hungry for a win. I'm not saying we're going to lose, but we damn sure could with the way we've been playing, and a team that's as desperate as they are, because their back's against the wall too, just like our back's against the wall. We are in a must-win situation. They are in a must-win situation. So we're going to have to swallow up whatever the hell been going on and move forward right now and make it happen. And get back to that championship football that we've been playing last year. We need to get back to that. That's the only thing I want to take from last year, the championship football that we played. I don't want to think about a championship in itself. I don't want to think about a playoff run. It's all about this year, but we have to get back to the basics. And that's from the inside out. We gotta get the O-line right. We gotta get the D-line right. I don't know what's going on with Lane Johnson. He been giving up some pressures. Last year, he didn't give up not one. So everybody got to get back to basics, and it's just the little things. If everybody tweak something small boom, we got better. And the special teams, another thing. I mean, I haven't seen a kick return for a touchdown. I'm not saying that, we need that every single game, but that's something that gives a spark. That's another level of football, that other teams have to be on edge for. Like, they have a serious kick return guy or a serious punt return guy. Now, Darren Sproles has been out. He hasn't been in consistent games, but since he's been injured in week 3, we have yet to see anything. We've seen a few big runs, but we have yet to see a punt return for a touchdown, a kick return for a touchdown, a block punt for a touchdown. We have not seen those big plays. We are 17th in the red zone. 17th in the red zone. Last year we were top 5 the whole way through. We are not finishing off drives. We are settling for field goals, which brings me to Jake Elliott, who every time he kicks, I'm on the edge of my seats. I'm closing my eyes. Because no matter how far, no matter how close, this guy is liable to miss. Even last year, his first kick that he did against the Kansas City Chiefs was a miss. And I'm like, oh, man, here we go, searching for another kicker. And then he comes back and hits a 61. The one thing I see with that guy, he's not consistent. So he's got to sharpen up. All 3 phases of Eagles football is going to have to get sharp. The only person on this team that has been consistent week in and week out, and he's been holding it down, is the punter. The punter is the only guy that's been holding it down. He's been pinning people back, whether it's within the 10, within the 15, even when he kicks it out and they're at the 20. He's doing what he has to do. Nobody's getting these big returns on us because of that guy. So he's doing his part. Now we need everybody to get on board and do their part. If everybody just do their job, not do more than one thing, just do your job, that's going to change a lot. And that's going to point us in the right direction. That's going to point us to more wins. So, just to recap, the quarterback play, he's going to have to be quicker with his reads. I'm not saying that he has been terrible, but he's going to have to, if the offensive line don't step up, he's going to have to be quicker with his reads. The offensive line's got to step up, get beefy up front again. The wide receiver, we can't have drop passes. The running back blocking, the running game consistency has to stay up. The tight end play needs to get even better. Even though they're the best receiving core on the team right now, they have to get even better. Everybody got to step up. Even if you're good right now, you got to step up to the next level. D-line play, got to get back to championship D-line play. We have to get back to championship D-line play, or there is no Eagles, because we know we cannot depend on that secondary to get the job done if the defensive line doesn't get there. The safety play, I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we got to get Maddox or Rodney. Rasul Douglas. We got to get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. I'm not saying Maddox can't get the job done, but if he has a performance like he did this past week, because he did some things right and he did some things wrong. So, if he cleans up the things he did wrong, then you have a good all-around safety. But if his gameplay turns around and it's more bad than good, then there we go with another switch again. And that's something we can't keep switching people out and switching people in. That's not the way things are going to get done. And last but not least, the cornerback play. They got to step up. Jim Schwartz is going to have to come up with a game plan to not leave everyone out there on an island. That's what he has to do. And it hurts my heart to say this, but I see Stephon Diggs and was Adam Thielen, whatever the hell his name is, for the wide receiver core for the Minnesota Vikings. I see them trashing us if we don't make a change. I see them destroying us. I see Kirk Cousins putting up numbers in the air if we don't right this ship in the secondary. If Jim Schwartz don't come up with a perfect game plan to get us right. And that's all I got to say. If we right the ship, we good to go. If not, then right now we on pace to be an 8-18. And that's all I got to say. Once again, I'm your boy Ill Will, and it's the Eagles Raw Report. I'll holler at you next time.